Ghost Productions present Joe Bishop, Bishop Backwoods Survival. Today, I'm going to show you how to set a, we're going to call it the Cosmic Spring Pole Snare. It's also known as the Bishop Spring Pole Snare, but making this video for someone on another channel. So we're going to use her name. You want to find a sapling, a springy one, like this here. That's pretty springy. And what you want to do is you want to find out right underneath there, when you pull it down, where's it going to be at? So about right there is where it's going to be at. So we're going to clear that out. Got to hammer this in the ground. About like so. All the weave and stuff around it. You're going to take your snare. That's the swivel end. Piece of wire. Come up here. And granted, you're not going to catch a hog on this one, but just because this sapling, he'll pull that sapling off, but you can catch hog in this snare. You can catch deer, but you just want to use a different sapling, and you want to make sure that it's anchored really good on it, but this is for demonstration purposes. So I picked the small one. All right, so that being said, you got what you're gonna end up doing is this is gonna come down and go right underneath there like so. And when you let go of it, it's wanting to pop off. It's under the head of that nut there. So let me grab my, I brought this over with me. Got my treadle stick. Remember the one I said it's got hollowed out, got grooves on each end? What you're gonna do is you're gonna pull this down. You're gonna hook the head of that nail underneath there like so. You're gonna stick your treadle on it. And you take another stick and you stick in the back like so. All right. And what's happening, zoom in so you can see it. So over here, you can see the nail being held back. So very carefully, and a lot of times you want to put a safety up here because you don't want this thing whipping up and catching you in the eye or anything. But you put it over you put your snare over like that. You'll take and bait that treadle stick, and depending on how much of a hair trigger you want it, depends on where you put your trigger at. Most animals, like foxes and cats, when they come in, they like to grab their food and rake it back towards them, rake back towards their mouth. A possum will come in here with two hands and grab it with two hands, and a lot of times you'll catch him, looks like he's praying. A raccoon, you want to block up one side and actually take your snare and put your snare off to to the side out here, because he's gonna sit there and hover over it and eat like that, and you'll catch him around the back leg. Another thing is, a raccoon got ambidextrous thumb and he can get this off, so you want it around his back leg. So you got it all set, and back this up a little bit. See how that thing's set in there? I'm gonna back this up. I'm gonna drop this hammer on it and see if we can't catch the hammer. I can tell you right now, I am low in iron. I really want to eat a hammer tonight. Just kidding. I say that, might get hit in the mouth with it. Anyway. Your animal comes in here like so. He's sitting there and he's messing around and messing around, and he finds that bait there, and when he sets it off, you catch him like so. And when that thing tightens down, and it will tighten down because he's going to try to jerk off from it, and he will sit there and really try to get away from you. I'll reset that again, and we'll go back over it one more time. I'm actually going to shorten this snare up a little bit, so I get it'll actually lift it up. What I'm going to do is leave that there and wrap it around a couple times. That will work. Okay, sorry about that. Another thing is, you want to make sure that this stick is trimmed kind of low, so they don't bump into it by mistake. So here we go again. Here's my snare. Pull my snare pole down, hooking it underneath the head of that bolt. We'll find out where it fits in there. Real important you get this thing laying in there how you want it, nice and neat. So where's my hammer at? All right, y'all see how that is? You see how my treadle stick is? I baked the center of that treadle stick. Got my animal coming in here. He's sitting there feeding and feeding. What happens, he pushes the treadle stick off the nail. And when he does, actually got two guys there. Back this thing up, what happens, he pushes it off the nail. When it goes off the nail, it's around them. And part of it is I got that thing in too tight. All right, let's set it one more time. Let's see how it locked up the. Dog's after something over there. Squirrel or a rat. Lucy. Lucy Lou. Stay out of there. Could use it to catch her, but she'd freak out. Out of it. So, once again, put the head underneath the head of the nail underneath the head of the nut. Come in here. It's gonna be a nice loose one. Sometimes to keep it from wiggling, you gotta put a little stick right there. So we're gonna have a hair trigger on this bad boy. Too much of a hair trigger. Back, girl. Back. All right, got on there, right? And this should go off pretty easy this time. And this is what you want to do, experiment around with how you do it. Just want to make sure you don't get hurt in the process. That one went off prematurely. You know, it can be dangerous to get hit in the face with it or whatever, and that nail catch or whatever. But anyway, we're gonna say this is a squirrel day. I baited here with some corn and some bird seed or whatever, and that squirrel comes in here and he's sitting there trying it, and then next thing you know, he hops up on this thing. caught like so. So this is a Cosmic Spring Pole Snare. Hope she likes it. If y'all have any questions, I'm sure y'all leave it on my comment on my video. You don't have to make that out aircraft cable. You can make it out of 550 cord. You can make it out of line that you've made out of plant material. You can make it out of plastic bags, all depending on what you're going for. But I know that aircraft cable holds really good. I've caught some really big animals in it, and caught some really small animals in it. And the only thing I've ever had to get out of it when I was running snare lines was a coyote, and he'd hit 3 of my snare lines, gotten out all 3 of them because he was chewing the cable in half. And on my next one that he hit, because he'd been hitting that snare line pretty good, on the next one he just got caught and couldn't get through it. So when I come in there, I dispatched him. So I'm Joe Bishop, Backwoods Survival. If you ain't practicing your skills, when it comes time to use them, you won't have them. Get out and practice.